it's Gina at Tarot and Time in Kent, Connecticut, and I'm here today to talk about the astrology for today, Friday, January 15th, and to give you a tarot reading to go along with it. So if you're watching this video at a later date, you can skip past the astrology part and just go right into the reading. It'll still be relevant to you. So I have the chart printed out for today. And you don't have to know a lot about astrology to see that there is a lot going on right here. And so this is the first house, and this is where we start, considering this the first house. It's owned by Aries, so Aries is the first sign in the zodiac. And we have let's just say a lot of planets in that first house. The first house is associated with the words I am. All about, Aries is like the baby of the zodiac. So it's really about the development of who you are. And so there's a lot of energy there. We have what's called a stellium, which is when there's 3 or more planets in the same sign. So we have a stellium in the first house in the sign Aquarius. And we also have another stellium in the chart in the sign of Capricorn. So Capricorn being really grounded, we're in Capricorn season right now, really associated with work, getting things done, success over time. And then Aquarius is the genius of the zodiac. So it's very forward thinking, futuristic. And so let's see, what else did I want to tell you? So a lot of energy in the first house, a lot of energy about who we are. The sun is in Capricorn, and then the rising sign for the day is also in Capricorn, and then the moon is in Aquarius. So how you see yourself and how others see you are in the same sign. And then who you truly are is there in Aquarius, so the genius. So I'm seeing this as a really great time about work, about putting yourself out there. Like if you're applying for jobs right now, really being clear about who you are and your value, and really being seen for your value and for your genius. Let's see, I also wanted to talk about Mars and Uranus, these two here. They're conjunct, which means together, working together. And so Mars is also associated with Aries. And Mars is how you take action, how you get things done. And it is conjunct, real close to, affecting Uranus, which is the planet that rules Aquarius. And it is considered often as like a lightning bolt, very unpredictable. And so we have this, Mars can be, sometimes when it's out of balance can be a little aggressive. And you've got this lightning bolt of unpredictability that can be used, can work in your favor or against you. And it's in the sign of Taurus, which when Taurus gets a little out of balance, it can be really stubborn. And it's in the house, the third house, which is Gemini's house, house of communication. So be careful with your communication, that it's not too aggressive or too stubborn. And you don't want it to be a volatile time. You want it to be a time where you can use that energy to get things done and to really benefit, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is value and really money and jewelry and all those wonderful things. So let's see what else I wanted to tell you. So it's a good time to communicate who you are calmly. Go for the jobs that you want right now, or the goals that you have. Great time for that. It's really grounded. There's a lot of earth energy going on. Thinking out of the box, because Aquarius is always one step ahead. And then we have Neptune in its own sign of Pisces, and it's in the second house. So Neptune is like the spiritual realm. It can also be it rules fog, so it can be foggy. So it's there in the second house, which is Taurus's house, which is ruled by Venus. So there can be some fog, but also there can be some intuitive feelings that are coming up. And so really trust your intuition. Not everything has to be logical. You can feel very intuitive moves about what would be beneficial to you financially and for your own self-worth. Chiron is also there. Chiron's not a planet, but it is an important point on a chart, And it's also there in the second house. So all those, Chiron is the wound, your old wounds. And so there, your old wounds about money, your old wounds about your own self-value. So the other important thing I wanted to say is that Pluto is so active. So in the first house, we had the sun conjunct Pluto together. Pluto's the planet of transformation. We have Chiron there in the second house. Let's transform our old ways, our old, beliefs about money, beliefs about ourselves that are outdated. Let's let Pluto energy transform that. We have Scorpio up here in the midheaven point. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So the theme is really transformation, really letting that transformation help you get what you want. Because you really can. And the Uranus energy there, there's unpredictable change. Let's be open to that being positive change. So what else? There was one more thing. Oh yeah, Venus is in the 12th house in the sign of Capricorn. So Venus, 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So it's like really a big house of spirituality. So I was thinking a meditation about money would be really fabulous right now, or just about your own self-value. So I'm going to put a link in the bio or in the comments so that you can try out. Sheila Haidt has some wonderful free meditations on her website, so I'll post the link there. Really envisioning what you want, and in that spiritual realm where you can really just like see it and then manifest it. So I'm going to do a tarot reading now, and the theme is going to be harnessing the power of transformation to get what you want. Let's harness that Pluto energy that's so active right there in the beginning of the chart. We have midheaven Scorpio, Pluto energy. Let's use it to get what you want. So go ahead and pick your pile. Okay, so we're gonna start with pile number 1. Got a kyanite here. And let's see what we have. So we're talking about harnessing the power of transformation to get what you want. I have a few different decks here, randomly chosen cards, and let's see what we have coming up. So we're starting off with the major arcana. We've got the Hierophant starting us off here. Hierophant is card number 5 of the major arcanas, and 2021 is a 5-year, so it is the card of the year, technically. The Hierophant is related to Sagittarius. It has to do with higher learning, expansion, and I often think of it, it's usually seen as like a priest or a sage or someone that's looked up to, and I usually feel it as like this kind of like looking up to energy. So, and it's also respecting the idea of change. And we're asking about transformation to get what you want. And so being open to change, and then also being open to this year being the year of change for you. We've got the 2 of Wands, 2 of Fire. So in relationship to looking out, looking ahead, how do you want the future to look? How do you want the changes to affect you? So I'm really getting the vibe of like envisioning. We talked about maybe listening to a meditation that I'm going to post in the comments. So you can really start envisioning, feeling, living in that world of feeling what you want so you can bring it in. So it already feels familiar. This is interesting. This is the Well card. It's a bonus card in this deck. This is the Ethereal Visions deck. I love it so much. And I keep taking the extra cards out, and then they end up back in because I guess they need to be there. The Well is, I like how she has like this pendulum in her hand, and she's stirring that water up and out. And so we were talking about change, envisioning what you want, and then really kind of directing it. And water energy being so artistic and just like I just love the idea of manifestation and like living in that dreamy world and then bringing that down into your life. So something like a vision board, really great for you. Something like the meditations, so that you're bringing it in with ease. This is an oracle deck. This is stature. Talk about ease. Here's the Page of Cups. And Page of Cups is a reminder to have fun. It's such young, playful energy. And look how, like, she's so dressed up and just really ready for a good time. So really letting this change be positive change that's coming, playful change with ease, sitting, imagining, allowing, making space, allowing it to come into you. Okay, let's see what else we have. Well, we've got the Six of Wands. That's such a card of success. And the World, ultimate card of success. Capricorn card, we talked about how there's a stellium in Capricorn today. A lot of energy to get what you want, to get out there, to be seen, to get the jobs that you want, to reach the goals that you want. Both of these cards are indicating you being seen and awarded. So the time is now for you to really show up, take control, start thinking about how you want things. There's vanity. I feel like sometimes we think that we're wrong to want things or to want to have nice things, that we were taught that it's vanity, and it's untrue. It's okay to have nice things. Here's the Hanged Man. So this is a card, it's often called the Divine Delay card. But he's fine. If you look at him, there's nothing bad happening. He's actually being nourished. This is the After Tarot deck. So this is like a minute after, where the woman comes and brings him nourishment. You have the Four of Swords. Another card of almost like waiting. But then we have the Chariot. Although this Chariot looks stationary, it hasn't moved yet, but it's ready. So I'm gonna pull the last few and then we'll do a little summary here. We have the Three of Pentacles. Now I love that he's got like a pocket watch. So there's something that's happening right now for a limited time. I feel like it's like you're being held, there's a delay. But the time is here to make the changes, to start thinking about how you want it to feel, start dressing the part. The success is coming. It may not be coming at the speed that you want. Page of Swords, look at him, big exhale, letting off some steam. So there could be some frustration that things aren't coming at the speed that you want. Here's the Queen of Swords. Just kind of no nonsense. Queen of communication, Queen of boundaries. So overall, we're talking again about harnessing the power of transformation, and really harnessing this Chariot card really makes me feel like that aligns to that. So harnessing the power of transformation to get what you want. So being open to change, knowing that this is the year for you, this is the year of change for everyone, and especially you're going to feel that. You're going to start envisioning what you want. You're going to start taking control and making that happen. And I'm not talking about like power control. I'm talking about like intuitive, dreamy, meditative like control, where you can envision things the way that you want it so that it can reflect into your life. You're going to show up. Showing up's half the battle sometimes, and you might as well look good when you show up. It's time to drop the mentality about vanity and start having a good time and enjoying that we have a lot of freedoms in our life and that we have the ability to make money in this life and go for the things that we want to. And so show up, and you might as well look good while you're showing up. Showing up is half the battle. Everything else will fall into place as you do that. There's great success available to you. It may not be moving at the speed that you want it to be moving, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. It's all starting to line up for you. It'd be really good for you to let off some steam. Maybe it's time to start power walking or something there you can let off some steam. And really, I just see you like really getting down to business, because the Queen of Swords is such a businesswoman and so into the details. And so show up. If there's something you need to write it. If there's something that you want to put out into the world, work on it now, because all that energy is there for you. This transformation is available to you. And so let it be a positive transformation to get what you want. Pile number 2. I have this little piece of amethyst here. And now we're going to talk about pile number 2, harnessing the power of transformation to get what you want. So we saw in the astrology chart for today, there's a lot of energy, a lot of transformation available. This is a year of change, 2021. It's a 5-year, lots of changes happening. So I have a bunch of decks here I picked some cards from, picked them randomly, and so your reading is live, not planned ahead. Okay, we're starting off with the 3 of Wands. Really looking out. What is it you want? Where do you want to go? Fire energy. 3, a foundation. Which way, which road, which path are you going to take? The Magician. So we talked about Scorpio being mid-heaven in the chart for today. We talked about Pluto being right there in the right on the line of the first house. So the Magician is ruled by the planet Pluto. So there's a lot of this Pluto energy. Pluto is a planet of transformation. So let the transformation happen. Let it work its magic on you so that you can get what you want. But you have to show up, and you need to start thinking about what it is that you want. Because if you don't really have any idea of what you want, then it's really hard for it to manifest in your life. You have all the tools that you need to make it happen. We have the King of Cups. He's like pouring out what he doesn't need. Could be considered the king of emotions, so he's pouring out some emotions that no longer work for him. We talked about Chiron being active in the house, in the second house, which has to do with money. And so Chiron can be all those old wounds. And so it's time to start pouring those out, letting go of these mentality that maybe, maybe our parents taught us that. Maybe they didn't, maybe they fought about money when you were a kid. It's time for that to change, for you to let go of that so it stops influencing you. Here's the 3 of Wands. So this is actually the same card as this one. A little different take of it. But you're in a respected position. Here's the Strength card. Look at her. Wow. This is from the Relative Tarot deck by Carrie Paris. One of my favorites from my personal collection. Strength is related to Leo, the sign Leo, which is ruled by the sun. So you have the strength, you have the power, you have the sun shining on you to be seen. We saw that the sun was in the first house. We saw that you can use that energy. Really, you can be seen right now for who you are, for your strength. And I placed it right underneath the Magician. So I feel like that energy can work together, being seen and the transformation of who you are. Maybe your story of transformation is a powerful one. Maybe it needs to be told. Here's the 4 of Wands. So this was the 3, here's the 4. His ships come in. It's like everyone's saying goodbye. Here's the Harvest. Fabulous. Your ships come in and it's harvest season. Wow. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. He's out there questing for what's of value to him. Love the gold. Here's the 2 of Swords. So she's blindfolded crossed swords, kind of just going internally, feeling, instead of just taking in the outside world. The Chariot. We had this come up in pile number 1, and now here it is in pile number 2. But this Chariot is like moving insanely fast. This is the Chariot, is card number 7 of the major arcanas. It has to do with your spiritual path. And there is some crazy forward movement coming. Here's the 3 of Wands. So this is the 3rd time the 3 of Wands came up for you. So we had this version and this version. And so it's almost like your message is being sent out ahead, that you're coming, your arrival, you're due to arrive. Your ship has come in, the way is being paved for you. There's a harvest here. I see things really starting to move for you. If you want to harness this energy of change, you have to be first willing and open for changes to come in. And that's gonna require dropping some old stuff that you're carrying around. And I think it's thoughts and feelings and emotions. It's time to dump those out, sort through. It's your time now. There's an opportunity here for you to have really big forward movement. Here's the King of Wands. He's the ultimate traveler. I love his smile. I love his attitude. So sure of himself and looking forward. King of Fire. Here's partnership. We had the 2 of Swords come up before, so anytime a 2 comes up, it's like in relationship. There's a partnership being made here. Forget-me-nots. So I'm getting the idea that there's somebody from your past that's going to come back into your life that is going to make you some kind of offer. You do need to sit with that offer and make sure that it works for you and not just charge ahead too quickly into it, because this is a time of transformation. This is not a time to just go back into your old wounds. It could be very easy to just go back into something that you've outgrown. And so Chiron being there in the 2nd house of value, these old wounds. And so really taking a look at yourself. Are you valuing yourself, who you are now, and not just going back into, oh, well, I have history with this person and this old sticky energy. So really want you to take a look at that. Pay attention to who comes into your life this week, and don't just jump right into it. Really staying loyal to yourself and thinking about where you want to be going next in your life. The 3 of Wands has come up so many times. I would Google the 3 of Wands, see a few different versions of it, read about it, because that's a really strong card for you right now. There's an opportunity for you. Your ship is coming in. There's an opportunity. There's a harvest. I hope that you take that opportunity for yourself, not to just jump back into an old relationship. So if that relationship comes up, if it feels tempting for you, just take a little time and pause and go inward and think about if that's really going to work for you. The Magician's there, so there can be some tricky energy there too. Shadow side of the Magician can be a little shady, so just be careful. And there's the 8 of Wands. It would be very easy to just jump in and oh, let's go somewhere together and and here's the High Priestess. So please remember your own value. Please update your value system about yourself. Please look at your role in relationships in the past and make sure that you're cleaning it up. Make sure that you're valuing who you are and not just giving yourself away. You have a huge opportunity here. Okay, pile number 3, we have some hematite. And let's get started here with your reading, and remembering that our theme is harnessing the power of transformation to get what you want. All right, we have Scorpio midheaven, which is ruled by the planet Pluto, which is the planet of transformation. We have Pluto close to the ascendant. There's a really good opportunity for transformation to get the life that you want. All right, I'm dropping a card. Oh, and it's the conflict card. You see that? It's like old conflict. Tapping you on the shoulder. Now we have the 8 of Pentacles, busy at work. We have the Hermit. The Hermit's always on the path looking for truth. Love how he's got this huge wolf with him next to him. This is the after tarot. So this is the original like Rider-Waite version of that, but then after this wolf appears. So there's this added strength. You may feel alone, but you're not. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. It's card number 10, which breaks down to a 1. If you put it to 1 digit. So you may feel like you're in this solo journey. And I'm seeing like these old relationships that come up, that it's like, oh, here I am again. And are you going to accept it this time? Being a martyr. Popularity. Negative attention is better than no attention. That's what I'm feeling. That's the mentality. Being a martyr or getting attention, even though it's through negative things, is better than no attention. And that's untrue. It's outdated, and it's time to transform that. Here's the Strength card, so you can do it. You have the Strength. It's ruled by Leo, which is ruled by the Sun. So it's time, the Sun exposes the light onto things, and this is exposing the light onto your way of thinking. It's time to move past this. You can do it. You have the help that you need to do it, and you don't need to be stuck in this old way of being. There's the 4 of Pentacles, holding tight to those pentacles, or holding tight to your old way of being. And here's the 5 of Cups. Really getting caught up in what isn't working out and forgetting about what's still available. We have the 6 of Swords, forward movement. And we have the Wheel of Fortune again. Double Wheel of Fortune. So you're on this wheel. It's like being on the planet. You have to surrender. You're here for as long as you're here, but it's the Wheel of Fortune. Fortunate things can happen to you when you surrender. Here's the 2 of Wands, and you can see back here, this is Chiron, the wounded healer. And we said Chiron is very active today in the 2nd house. 2nd house is ruled by Taurus, which is associated with Venus. So it can be our self-value. And it's almost like you've been hiding, and it's time to come out. It's time to heal that wound. It's time to move forward so you can have healthier relationships. It's the 9 of Pentacles. It's all lined up for you. You can do it. And the end of this overwhelmment. This is the 10 of Swords. What you've been doing has been overwhelming you. It's time for a new story, because this is the result you're going to keep getting if you continue this story. Exhaustion, overwhelmment, defeat. So choose happiness, choose letting go. Please don't go back into that conflicted relationships that you have been choosing over and over again. You may feel alone. You may feel like you have to choose being solo over being in this relationship, but I can assure you that the solo journey will not be for long, and it will bring you fortunate blessings. Because the attention that you're receiving from the relationships that you're in right now aren't really feeding you. They're really, really hurting you. And so it's time to really take a look at yourself, take a look at who you are, who you want to be, allowing this transformation. We're talking about harnessing this transformation. We're in a year of change. We're going to harness this Pluto energy to allow the things that didn't work out to just burn and allow the new. I think of like a lot of gardeners. I think they burn like fields and stuff, and then they plant a new crop, controlled burning. Let this burn, and then bring something new to life. There's some beautiful things that you can bring in. Look at that. So you've got this. I'm going to pull just another card or two for you. We have Judgment, again, ruled by Pluto. Laying the dead to rest, letting the transformation happen. And look how peaceful she looks. So all this old stuff, it's time. And it's old relationships. This is card 20. So it's a 2 in relationships. So those old relationships, it's time to sort through it. I'm feeling like burning some love letters if you have any. And then this card just fell out, the 4 of Cups. So you may feel alone for a little bit, but there's something new and wonderful coming. And if you clear the space and have faith, then you make space for it. Thanks for joining me.